all over now. No! No! I won't hurt ya!
What's up, YouTube? This is Azubar here.
And I'm his friend Nicola.
And we're here to review the new game Bioshock 2, released by 2K Games. Now, before we start anything, I'd just like to say that we're going to split this review into two parts. The single-player review and the multiplayer review. Now, the reason we're doing that is because they were each made by different development teams, and that has a big effect on the experience. Now, let's start with the plot of Bioshock 2. The biggest difference is that you're not playing as Jack anymore, you're playing as a Big Daddy. And not just any old Big Daddy, you're playing as the first Big Daddy, whose name is Subject Delta. Now, the plot of Bioshock 2 is a lot simpler than the first one, since you wake up after 10 years of sleeping, and you're trying to find your little sister whose name is Eleanor. She's not much of a little sister anymore, but you're still trying to find her since you are linked to her genetically. And that's basically the whole reason to get you through Rapture again. Now, the reason why I think we're going through Rapture again is because it's different parts of it, and you're not just going through Arcadia and Kashmir Restaurant again. It's new parts of it, and you get a new antagonist whose name is Sophia Lamb. She's a lot different than Andrew Ryan because A, she's a woman, and B, she's a communist. She doesn't believe in the self. She believes that everyone should work together for the good of a group of people and not just for a group of one person. And as luck would have it, your little sister is the daughter of Sophia Lamb, Eleanor Lamb, and you're fighting, and Sophia is going to fight you at all costs in order to prevent you from getting to Eleanor, and that's Bioshock 2. Mm-hmm. I liked this plot, don't you?
Yeah, I did. I liked it more than Bioshock 1, to be honest.
Me too. I really did, because I think you were a lot more attached. The character had a lot more of a backstory than Jack did. And also, there wasn't a big plot twist to throw you off and confuse you.
Oh, yeah.
This one had a much more point A, point B kind of plot. But I have to say that it was a little bit repetitive. I mean, basically the whole game is just you trying to get the train working and you're trying to get to Eleanor.
I guess, but...
I mean, the experience is great. You get to see new parts of Rapture, like the farming district, Dionysus Park. We're not going to give too much away. But the ending of the game is what really picks up steam and you really want to keep playing to the end. Now, probably the thing that's best going to differentiate Bioshock 1 from Bioshock 2 is the guns, the dual wielding, and all the new improvements. I'm going to talk about the dual wielding. The dual wielding is you get to use the plasmid, and if you don't know what a plasmid is, it's a genetic add-on that lets you use a certain power, like you can eject fire out of your hand or electricity. And there are plenty of new ones, but basically, in this game, Bioshock 1, you can only use either a plasmid or a gun. One
at a time.
Yes, you couldn't use them both at the same time. Now, in this game, you can dual wield. You can fire a gun while you're shooting a plasmid. Now, I think that's a big improvement, don't you?
Yeah, I did.
Now, the reason for that is because you can have a lot more tactical, and you can combine plasmids with weapons to make it a lot more effective against enemies. And the new guns add into that, and there's also some new plasmids that kind of work into it, but
yeah,
the new plasmids aren't that great. Like, the Scout plasmid isn't...
I did not like the Scout plasmid. Basically, what you send out an invisible person to check out the room that you're about to go into. And as you get into higher ranks, you can hack and use plasmids.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was kind of a waste, but there are some... Another big thing is the plasmid, you can improve them. But the new improved plasmids are basically the older ones are the ones that you can upgrade, like Incinerate, Electrobolt,
Winter
Blast, Insect Swarm, which I think is useless.
Yeah.
For example, Incinerate, which I think was the biggest improvement, was now it's basically a flamethrower when you upgrade to rank 3, was it? Mm-hmm. And you charge it up and it's like a flamethrower. So the plasmids are a big improvement, the dual wielding a big improvement, but the other half of the dual wielding is, of course, the guns, and Nicola's going to tell us about the guns.
Alright, well, first of all, you get the rivet gun to start off with.
Which is the primary weapon of the Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm. There's 3 ammos, like Bioshock 1. There's the trap rivet, there's the armor piercing, and there's the rivet ammo. The trap rivet is pretty much like the proximity mines.
Yes.
The armor piercing is self-explanatory, and I would call it more like a pistol.
I would say it's more of a shotgun, really. I mean, like, how would you say it's a pistol?
Well, the rate of fire.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then again, it really was designed as more of like a diver's type of gun because A, you can fire underwater.
Yeah.
Well, you saw that on other big guys because... Oh, another big improvement is now you can travel underwater in this game.
Oh, yeah.
But they're really more of just kind of linear.
And you can collect Adam when you're underwater.
Yes, that's another big thing. But the underwater sequences, they're linear. So it's not like you can just go whenever you want.
Yeah.
You have to go into them when the game tells you to go underwater. And they're very short periods of time. And you don't fight underwater. You just kind of move around. It's very beautiful and serene, but it's still not as... It could have been used better.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you keep telling us about the guns?
Alright, well, there's also the Gatling gun, and there's a double-barrel shotgun, which I do not like.
I found it was kind of useful when you're running out of ammo with your Gatling gun or your rivet gun, but...
It runs out of ammo really quickly.
The shotgun, yes, it does. But I really didn't find myself switching ammo that much, because, once again, I wasn't using them that often.
Yeah.
And that was the gun I upgraded last, which was also in Bioshock 1, the upgrading the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty much the same in this game. You get some new upgrades, like more ammo, but basically it's the same as Bioshock 1. Why don't you keep telling us about the Gatling gun?
Alright, well, which doesn't make sense to me is that you can dual wield a Gatling gun and a plasmid when it needs two hands to begin with.
Well, also you're a big daddy, so...
Yeah, that's true. I found it to be a really weak gun.
I did too. It also has really bad recoil.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the weapons, not really that... I mean, they're pretty impressive. And I like how they're new, because also, this game takes place 10 years after the first Bioshock, so there has to be some improvement. But the weird thing is, on the splicers, all the guns are the same. The shotgun, the Tommy gun.
Yeah.
I find that odd, don't you?
I do.
I mean, wouldn't you think that they would be picking up some of the more advanced guns? Like maybe the double barrel, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, they're using the guns from the first game.
Well, they're a lot uglier now.
Yeah, they are. Well, they were more deformed. Let's get into the Little Sisters.
Alright.
How that's changed in this game, because now that you're a big daddy, you can also adopt and harvest. Now, why don't you tell them about adopting, and I'll tell them about harvesting.
Okay, well, when you adopt, you have a choice of letting them harvest Adam from a dead body, and when that happens, you have to protect them until they get all of the Adam, and then you have to do it 2 times.
2 times for each little sister, and then you return them to a vent, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is very, very repetitive and annoying after a while, which almost makes you want to harvest them. I know that might seem like it was on purpose to add to the morality, but I don't think it was. I think it was just kind of there to annoy you.
Yeah, but after you let them gather their Adam, you have the choice of harvesting them still.
Yeah, which I wouldn't. Which would give you a lot more Adam.
Yeah.
Well, we only went through one ending, and that was the good ending, because we're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But otherwise, harvesting them is basically the same. You basically just take out all their Adam, which can lead to some pretty interesting scenarios, because once you adopt them, they trust you enough so that they'll go collecting Adam. However, you won't get presents from the Little Sisters, and the ending will be very different. But unlike the first game, another big improvement in the morality choices, and there's a bunch of them now, is that there's more than just the Little Sister choices. Now, you can,
spare the life of people.
Okay, there's no boss fights in this game, really, except for the Big Sister. We'll get to that in the second part. We'll get to that later. But the Big Sister... I mean, the morality choices are different because at the end of each stage, there's always someone Sophia Lamb is using, and has done something to you, but you don't have to kill. You can kill them, or you don't, and that affects Eleanor Lamb.
Yeah. And
the ending of the game. Now we've only seen one ending. We don't know how many there are. There's probably many, many, many.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a neutral ending too. If you kill some and let some live. It's totally up to you. Don't think, though, just because we did it right that it's going to change the game at all. Also, I might add that we only played the PS3 version, so we don't really think that it would be different on Xbox 360 or PC, but it might, so excuse that.